Picture a woman looking at you, trying to read your feelings but finding only calm. That calm makes her curious, even uneasy. She can't figure you out, and that mystery pulls her in. People always want what they can't easily understand or control. Today, most men lose their power because they talk too much, explain too much, and chase too hard. A man with control knows when to speak and when to stay quiet. He shows emotion only when it helps him and stays still when it protects his strength. This isn't about tricking anyone. It's about being aware of how people see you. When you control how you are seen, you control attraction. And when you master attraction, she doesn't decide to fall for you. She simply does. The law of calm control. Niccolo Machiavelli never wrote about love or dating. His lessons were about power, how to lead, how to influence, and how to make others see you the way you want to be seen. Yet, the same ideas that rule politics and leadership also rule human relationships. Every kind of power starts with perception, the way others view you. When you guide how people see you, you also shape how they feel about you. And when you influence how they feel, you quietly shape what they do. That's the secret. Control how people see you, and you control how they respond to you. When it comes to attraction, this translates into something simple. The calmer person holds more power. Think about it. The one who stays steady when everyone else reacts emotionally always stands out. He doesn't beg for attention or approval. He doesn't lose his balance when things don't go his way. He remains calm, collected, and confident, and that calmness becomes his quiet power. In today's world, full of drama and emotional chaos, calmness is rare. It shows strength. It says, "I am in control of myself," and that message is deeply attractive. Most women, even if they don't consciously realize it, look for a man who can lead, not by controlling her, but by controlling himself. Because deep down, she understands that a man who cannot manage his own thoughts or emotions cannot guide his life, and sooner or later, that lack of direction will affect her too. So what does she naturally look for? Emotional steadiness. A man who can stay grounded in the storm. That inner stability builds trust and safety. It gives off an aura of quiet strength, not through loud words or forced confidence, but through composure. When a man carries that peace within him, people notice it instantly. It shows in his eyes, in his tone, in how he moves and speaks. He doesn't need to impress anyone. His calm presence does the talking. That kind of calm confidence is magnetic. It draws people closer without effort. Because when a woman looks at a man who isn't desperate, anxious, or unsure, when she sees calmness instead of chaos, certainty instead of fear, she feels something deep and instinctive come alive. It's a mix of safety and mystery. Safety because his calmness feels protective and secure. Mystery because his stillness holds depth and unpredictability. Most men show only one side. Either they're too safe and predictable, or they're too reckless and unstable. But the rare man who can be both grounded and powerful, calm yet strong, becomes unforgettable. That's the heart of the law of calm control. It's not about pretending or playing games. It's about mastering your emotions so completely that others can sense your balance without you saying a word. You don't need to chase. You don't need to prove. You just need to be centered. Because calmness is not weakness. It's wisdom, and wisdom, expressed through calm control, is the purest and most lasting form of power, the art of emotional balance. There's a fascinating truth in psychology known as intermittent reinforcement. Studies from top universities like Harvard and Stanford found that when rewards or attention come at unpredictable times, they create stronger emotional bonds than when they are given regularly. When something feels uncertain, our minds stay alert and curious. We wonder what's next. That mystery pulls us in and keeps our emotions engaged. Centuries ago, Machiavelli understood this before science could explain it. He knew that being too predictable made people lose interest. Mystery keeps others emotionally invested and curious. It keeps attraction alive. But today, many men do the exact opposite. They reveal everything too quickly: their emotions, attention, affection, and availability. They remove all the mystery and excitement from the connection. Yet tension is what keeps desire alive. Without tension, relationships lose their spark. A wise man doesn't play emotional games. He plays with rhythm. He knows when to show warmth and when to stay silent. He understands when to step forward and when to step back. Every action he takes and every pause he chooses has meaning. This isn't about manipulation. It's about emotional awareness, about keeping a natural balance between closeness and distance. Because when that balance disappears, attraction fades. When a man can control his emotions and doesn't seek constant approval, something changes in how others see him. His attention becomes rare and valuable. People start to see it as something special, something they don't want to lose. They respect it. They want to earn it. This doesn't mean being cold or detached for no reason. It means understanding emotional timing. Warmth is powerful only when it's not constant. When you show emotion at the right time, it has more meaning. Your presence feels stronger and more grounded. True strength isn't about hiding emotion. It's about guiding it. It's about expressing feelings with purpose, not impulse. When others can't fully predict how you'll respond, they stay curious. They keep watching, wondering, and wanting to understand you. That curiosity creates emotional connection, and connection fuels attraction. Think of your emotions like music. A good musician doesn't play all the notes at once. He plays in rhythm. He lets silence and pauses add depth to the song. You should do the same with your emotions. Let distance create meaning. Let silence speak. Give your feelings space to breathe instead of overflowing. When your emotions are calm and self-directed, others feel it. They sense that you're centered, that your world doesn't depend on their opinion or attention, and that quiet confidence draws people in. In the end, emotional strategy is not about being emotionless. It's about owning your emotions. It's about knowing that your warmth is a gift, not something to give away carelessly. When you master this balance, you no longer have to fight for attention. Your presence naturally attracts it. That is the real power of emotional balance. Calm, steady, and magnetic. The man who silently holds her world. Let's talk about the kind of man who makes a woman pause, the one who can quiet her thoughts and make her truly present. He isn't the loudest in the room. He doesn't try to prove anything. He doesn't chase people or brag about his worth. He moves with calm strength, steady, quiet, and sure of himself. You don't always notice him at first, but when you do, it feels like everything has shifted. He carries danger, not from anger or cruelty, but from independence. He is whole by himself. He doesn't need love to feel complete, and she can sense it. That rare energy of a man who can love her deeply, yet would still stand tall if she left. That mix of deep emotion and emotional freedom draws her in. She feels his pull, not because he asks for it, but because his energy feels safe and strong. She drops her distractions, her doubts, her guard. Not because he demands attention, but because his presence commands it naturally. He doesn't control through words or ego. He leads through calmness and focus. His actions speak louder than anything he could say. He doesn't live for attention or comfort. He lives for purpose. He knows what he wants and has the strength to walk away from what doesn't fit his path. That's what makes him different. Most people try to fill their emptiness with approval or noise. He fills his with discipline, goals, and peace. He understands that being calm doesn't mean being weak. It means he's learned to master his emotions instead of being ruled by them. When she's with him, she feels both grounded and alive. His silence carries truth. His eyes don't beg to be liked. They see her clearly. His touch doesn't hold on too tightly. It connects. He gives warmth without losing himself. He doesn't try to become the center of her world, but somehow he becomes it. His steadiness creates a space where her chaos settles, her heart slows, her thoughts soften. She feels safe, not because he protects her from everything, but because his energy reminds her she can be calm too. It's not magic, it's alignment. A man rooted in purpose, filled with peace, and present in the moment doesn't need to chase love. He naturally draws it in. He attracts not through charm or games, but through his quiet frequency, that rare balance of strength and softness. He is the calm she didn't know she was missing, the mystery she doesn't need to solve, the man who could love her with depth, yet would still remain whole without her. And that's why she lets go of everything else, not for his words, not for his looks, but for his energy. That quiet storm that never needs to shout to be felt. The silent power, how space creates desire. Niccolo Machiavelli once said, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." In the modern world, this idea has changed. It's no longer about fear, it's about respect. Today, a person earns love through the respect they inspire. When a man keeps some distance, people often mistake it for pride or coldness. But real distance isn't about rejection, it's about clarity. It quietly shows who truly values his time and who only enjoys his attention. When a woman begins to feel his absence, something new starts to grow inside her. She doesn't stop caring. She becomes curious. She starts to wonder where his thoughts are, what he's doing, and why she suddenly misses his energy. That curiosity is powerful. It's what keeps her thinking about him even when he isn't around. Human desire is built on mystery. The heart doesn't long for what it completely understands. It longs for what feels just out of reach. That's why a little distance keeps emotions alive. It gives the imagination room to breathe and create stories, and those stories turn into deeper feelings. A wise man understands this without needing to be told. He doesn't talk too much about his plans or feelings. He doesn't explain every thought. Because when you reveal everything, you take away the magic that keeps attraction alive. Instead, he allows a little mystery to remain. He leaves quiet spaces, unanswered questions, moments of wonder. And because the human mind hates empty spaces, it fills them with imagination. That imagination becomes emotion, stronger than any words could ever create. Fantasy is the spark of desire. It lets someone fall in love not only with who you are now, but with who you could be. That imagined version of you can be even more powerful than reality, and it keeps attraction alive long after conversations end. This doesn't mean playing games or pretending. It means protecting your energy and not giving everything away too easily. Mystery is not manipulation. It's self-respect shown through patience and confidence. A man who holds his distance calmly doesn't push people away. Instead, he gives them space to come closer by choice, not by pressure. When someone chooses you out of genuine desire rather than need, the connection becomes real. That's the quiet secret. Not control, not dominance, not fear, but space with purpose. In that space, curiosity grows. In curiosity, emotion awakens. And in that emotion, love transforms, from comfort to admiration, from simple liking to deep respect. A man who understands this doesn't chase attention. He attracts it not by shouting for it, but by knowing when to stay silent. That is how space turns into desire, the calm power. Real power doesn't come from control over others. It starts with control over yourself. Emotional strength means you can stay calm and whole no matter what happens around you. Your peace doesn't depend on who gives you attention, and your worth isn't up for sale through someone's approval. You stand firm even when life tries to pull your emotions in every direction. This is where calm wisdom meets clear strategy. The quiet heart of a stoic joined with the sharp focus of a thinker. One gives you stability, the other gives you direction. Together, they create a person who is peaceful on the inside, yet powerful in action, caring, but never shaken. You can be kind without losing yourself. You can give attention without becoming addicted to being noticed. You can love deeply without falling apart. That's emotional mastery. Calm confidence, not cold control. Many mistake sensitivity for weakness and self-control for heartlessness. But true balance is neither. It's the place where emotion and reason work side by side. You feel everything, but you don't let every feeling rule your choices. You decide what deserves your reaction. This is the difference between a man who chases and a man who chooses. The one who chases is searching for peace outside himself. The one who chooses already has it within. And people, especially women, who are often deeply intuitive, can sense this difference instantly. They can feel when a man is looking for validation and when he's already full within himself. The first seeks to impress. The second quietly attracts. The first tries to be noticed. The second naturally stands out. A woman may meet many men who desire her, but very few who could walk away from her in peace. That kind of man leaves a lasting mark, not through games or pride, but through calm strength that cannot be faked. He doesn't move from ego, but from self-respect. He doesn't chase attention, it finds him. His presence says, I care, but I am already whole. That silent truth is more powerful than any loud promise. This is the calm power, the union of feeling and focus, love and self-respect, peace and purpose. It's the art of responding instead of reacting, of choosing what builds you instead of what only pleases you. When a man learns this, everything shifts. He no longer begs for love, he becomes magnetic to it. Because people are drawn to peace that feels strong, to warmth that doesn't consume, to power that doesn't need to prove itself. That's the kind of man who stands out, the one she never forgets, the one who leads by simply being still, the sharp mind, turning awareness into power. Let's be real. What Niccolo Machiavelli spoke about was never meant to sound sweet or poetic. It was meant to make people think sharply and act with strategy. He believed that awareness is a weapon, while ignorance keeps you trapped. Most people move through life reacting to feelings they don't really understand, their own or those of others. They call it passion, but often it's just confusion disguised as emotion. The sharp mind isn't about being fake or manipulative. It's not about playing tricks or acting cold. It's about using awareness as strength, seeing clearly how emotions shape behavior, and choosing calm action instead of blind reaction. When you start studying how people think and feel, you notice the hidden forces that guide every choice. The desire to be liked, the fear of being rejected, the pull of curiosity, the pain of insecurity, and the comfort of certainty. These are the invisible strings that move people. They chase what runs away, ignore what stays close, doubt what's honest, and want what feels out of reach. Most people are caught by these strings. They act without thinking. They give energy to what doesn't deserve it. They confuse movement with progress and emotion with truth. But a person with a sharp mind stays still long enough to see. He studies behavior. He understands what triggers emotion. He notices that when people feel uncertain, they look for safety. When they feel seen, they soften. When they feel ignored, they reach out. He doesn't play with these strings recklessly. He just knows they exist. And that knowledge gives him peace. He stops reacting to the world and starts directing his own moves. That's what turning awareness into power means. It isn't cruelty, it's clarity. It's freedom from emotional control. You stop being a puppet of emotion. You become the observer, the calm center, while everyone else spins in chaos. From that calm comes true strength. You no longer need to talk too much, explain too much, or prove anything. You recognize what influences people because you've seen the pattern many times. You act with intention, not impulse. That's how you rise above the noise. While others are lost in reaction, you move with purpose and precision. You don't chase attention, you attract it. You don't seek validation, you understand it. This is the sharp mind strategy, not deceit, not heartlessness, but disciplined emotional intelligence. Because once you understand emotion deeply, once you see how desire and fear build every human choice, you can never be controlled again. You become the one who doesn't just feel the game. You see it clearly, and clarity is where mastery begins. That's the line between noise and power, between reaction and reason, between being led and leading yourself, the strength in silence. Understand this. Victory doesn't come from chasing people or things. It comes from becoming someone who doesn't need to. True power isn't about forcing your way. It's about staying focused while others lose control. You don't attract by begging for attention. You draw people in by being the kind of man who stands strong on his own. When your purpose means more to you than approval from others, your silence becomes louder than any noise around you. Your calm energy carries weight. Your stillness turns magnetic. A man who understands this doesn't seek recognition. He builds something that earns it naturally. He doesn't demand respect. He lives in a way that commands it without saying a word. This is the kind of quiet strength thinkers like Machiavelli admired. The man who leads with calmness, moves with intention, and wins through understanding, not aggression. Today's world celebrates noise. People always talking, showing off, chasing validation. But real strength doesn't shout. It stands still. It doesn't need to prove anything. It just is. Stillness is not weakness or laziness. It's control. It's knowing when to move and when to wait. It's having the patience to let others react while you stay centered. Because the one who reacts the least often has the most control. A man who has mastered stillness becomes unreadable. Not because he hides, but because he doesn't give his emotions away for free. He listens more than he talks. He observes before he acts. He moves only when the moment is right, and that's why his moves matter. This isn't passiveness. It's precision. It's the skill of directing your energy instead of wasting it. It's the strength of being calm even when everything around you is chaos. People notice this kind of presence instantly. They can't explain it, but they feel it. It's in the way he walks, the way he looks at the world, the way he's comfortable in silence. His confidence doesn't come from being better than others. It comes from needing nothing from them. That's what makes him unforgettable. Not his words, but his energy. Not his charm, but his calm center. He doesn't chase attention. He becomes peace in a noisy world. That peace is his greatest power. It attracts people, earns respect, and builds quiet mystery without manipulation. This is the true revenge on a loud, restless world. To lead through peace, move with purpose, and rule through understanding. A man who controls his emotions, who doesn't bend to every opinion, who no longer seeks validation, that man has found real strength. Because once you master stillness, you stop chasing power. You become it. And that is the highest form of control. Not power over others, but complete power over yourself. This isn't about clever tactics. It's about real change. When you learn to master yourself, you stop chasing connection. You naturally create it through your presence, your purpose, and your peace. If this message spoke to you, if you're ready to stop reacting and start leading your emotions, tap like, subscribe for more insights on mental strength, strategy, and grounded masculinity, and share your thoughts below. What challenges you more, holding your silence or holding your patience? Your answer might just show you where your true strength begins.